Strategic Partnerships for Global Space Missions, 6 Key Collaborations and Their Impact by 2026. Introduction. The global landscape of space exploration is rapidly evolving, with nations worldwide redefining their roles and forging strategic partnerships to enhance their capabilities. As we approach 2026, several key collaborations are emerging that will significantly influence the dynamics of space exploration. This report outlines 6 pivotal partnerships and examines their implications for global competitors. 1. Artemis Accords and International Collaboration. The Artemis Accords initiated by NASA have become a framework for international cooperation in space exploration. As of January 2025, the Accords have garnered support from 36 signatory nations, including recent additions such as Belgium, Greece, and Uruguay. The Accords emphasize principles of peaceful exploration, transparency, and responsible behavior in space activities. Erika Alvarez, NASA's Deputy Director, noted that the Accords facilitate a collaborative spirit essential for addressing the challenges of space exploration. The United Arab Emirates (UAE) has emerged as a significant partner, contributing technology for the Lunar Gateway, a critical component of NASA's Artemis program. This partnership illustrates a growing trend toward cooperative exploration where nations unite to share resources and knowledge. Impact on competitors. The Artemis Accords represent a concerted effort by the U.S. and its allies to establish a rule-based order in space, potentially sidelining competitors such as China and Russia. As more countries align with the Accords, the U.S.-led bloc could strengthen its geopolitical influence, fostering a competitive atmosphere for non-signatory nations. 2. MENA's strategic role. The Middle East and North Africa MENA region is increasingly pivotal in the global space race. Countries like Saudi Arabia and the UAE are making substantial investments in their space capabilities. Saudi Arabia's Space Commission has earmarked $2.1 billion by 2030 to bolster its space initiatives, while the UAE has gained global recognition with its Hope probe mission to Mars. The emergence of strategic partnerships in MENA is seen as a response to the ongoing competition between the US and China. As MENA nations invest in space technology, they are positioning themselves as critical players in the broader space ecosystem. Impact on competitors. As MENA countries enhance their space capabilities, they may become influential partners for both the US and China. This burgeoning competition for alliances could reshape the geopolitical landscape, compelling major powers to recalibrate their strategies in the region. 3. China's expanding influence. China is actively establishing its own bloc in the space arena, primarily through the International Lunar Research Station (ILRS) project. Launched in partnership with Russia, the ILRS initiative aims to create a sustainable lunar base by 2036 featuring advanced infrastructure for scientific research. China's operational Tiangong space station further demonstrates its ambitions in space exploration. With a focus on fostering partnerships with global South nations, China is countering US-led initiatives like the Artemis Accords. The ILRS project is expected to attract countries that seek alternatives to the Western-led space agenda. Impact on competitors. China's growing influence in space could challenge the US's dominance in the sector. As China cultivates relationships with emerging space nations, it may succeed in forming a rival bloc that could undermine the effectiveness of the Artemis Accords and other Western initiatives. 4. European resurgence. Europe is striving to reclaim its influence in the space sector by fostering technological cooperation with MENA countries. Initiatives such as the EU-Africa Space Partnership and the Italy-Africa Space Conference are emblematic of Europe's commitment to advancing regional capabilities. By collaborating with MENA nations, Europe seeks to enhance its competitive edge against the US and China. The EU's Global Gateway investment package aims to strengthen ties with Africa, focusing on satellite navigation, Earth observation, and space-based connectivity. Impact on competitors. Europe's renewed focus on collaboration could create a counterbalance to US and Chinese dominance in space. By leveraging its technological expertise and historical ties with Africa, Europe may forge alliances that enhance its position in the global space race. 5. Emerging African space landscape. African nations are increasingly investing in space capabilities, with over 20 countries establishing space programs. Collaborations with China, particularly in satellite technologies, signify Africa's growing ambitions in the space sector. Projects like Djibouti's spaceport and partnerships with Chinese companies underscore Africa's determination to develop its space infrastructure. The continent's growing space industry, projected to generate $22.6 billion by 2026, reflects its potential as a significant player in the global space landscape. Impact on competitors. As African nations enhance their space capabilities, they may attract attention from major powers seeking partnerships. This development could lead to a multipolar space environment where emerging nations hold greater influence in global space governance. 6. Italy's strengthening role in MENA space affairs. Italy is positioning itself as a key partner in MENA space initiatives. Highlighted by the Italy-Africa Space Conference and several strategic agreements with countries like Algeria and Egypt. These collaborations focus on capacity building, Earth observation, and sustainable development applications. Italy's commitment to fostering regional innovation in space technology reflects a broader European strategy to enhance cooperation with MENA nations. By leveraging its technological expertise, Italy aims to establish itself as a trusted partner in the region. Impact on competitors. Italy's proactive approach to establishing partnerships in MENA could enhance its influence in the region, positioning it as a mediator between Western and Eastern blocs. This development may challenge the dominance of major powers like the US and China in shaping space policies in MENA. Conclusion. As we approach 2026, the landscape of global space missions is being shaped by strategic partnerships that traverse geopolitical boundaries. The collaborations outlined above, ranging from the Artemis Accords to emerging African initiatives, illustrate the complex interplay of competition and cooperation in space exploration. The outcomes of these partnerships will have significant implications for the future of space governance and the balance of power among nations. As the global space race intensifies, the ability to navigate these strategic relationships will be crucial for maintaining influence and achieving national objectives in the cosmos. 1. Artemis Accords and international collaboration. The expansion of the Artemis Accords to 36 signatories, including countries like Belgium and Greece, highlights a growing commitment to cooperative exploration. However, this could ironically deepen divisions in space exploration. As nations align with either the US-led Artemis Initiative or the China-led International Lunar Research Station (ILRS). 2. MENA's strategic role. The MENA region's emergence as a crucial player in the space race, with Saudi Arabia and the UAE investing heavily in their capabilities, reflects a counterintuitive aspect where regional ambitions are partly fueled by the rivalry between superpowers. Instead of merely acting as a bystander, MENA nations are leveraging geopolitical tensions to carve out their own space narratives. 3. China's expanding influence. China's efforts to establish the ILRS project and the operational Tiangong space station signify a strategic pivot towards the global south, creating an alternative to US-led initiatives. This counterintuitive move illustrates how China is not just a competitor but also a collaborator, forming partnerships with nations that may be overlooked by the US, thereby reshaping global space dynamics. For European resurgence, Europe's attempts to regain influence through partnerships with MENA countries may seem straightforward, but they reveal a complex interplay of cooperation and competition. While Europe seeks collaboration, the necessity to avoid being overshadowed by US and Chinese initiatives complicates its strategy, leading to potential conflicts of interest within the EU itself. 5. Emerging African space landscape. The rapid investment in space capabilities by African nations, largely in partnership with China, challenges the notion that space exploration is solely a domain of developed nations. African countries, through their collaborations, are redefining their roles and demonstrating that space can serve as a platform for technological advancement and sovereignty. 6. Timeline of events. The timeline of events suggests a linear progression of advancements in space exploration. However, this oversimplification overlooks the underlying tensions and complexities that often disrupt these collaborations, such as funding issues, technological gaps, and shifting political alliances. 7. Common key points. While the documents emphasize cooperation, the rising competition and the emergence of distinct blocs reveal a contradictory narrative where nations are simultaneously seeking collaboration while also positioning themselves in a competitive global landscape. 8. Differences between sources. The contrasting perspectives of NASA's emphasis on cooperation versus the geopolitical tensions highlighted in the MENA analysis underline a significant counterintuitive reality. While nations espouse collaborative values, their actions often reflect a competitive mindset driven by national interests and security concerns. In summary, the evolving international landscape of space exploration by 2026 reflects a complex web of cooperation and competition, where nations are not merely aligned with one bloc or another but are navigating a multifaceted geopolitical environment that often contradicts their stated collaborative intentions. The report on strategic partnerships for global space missions highlights several critical collaborations that are shaping the international landscape of space exploration. While much of the content is focused on the major players like the US, China, and the emerging roles of MENA and African nations, there are significant points that many readers might overlook. Here are some of these important elements along with explanations of their significance. 1. The Artemis Accords expansion and its implications. The report mentions that the Artemis Accords have expanded to include 36 signatories. This is a noteworthy development, as it establishes a framework for international cooperation in space exploration. The significance of this expansion lies not just in the number of countries involved but in the principles of cooperation and shared responsibility that these accords promote. This collective approach could serve as a counterbalance to unilateral actions by nations like China, signifying an emerging norm in space governance. The challenge, however, remains in ensuring that these accords translate into tangible collaborative projects, as the interests of diverse nations may not always align. 2. MENA's strategic role in global space dynamics. While the report highlights the rising space ambitions of countries like Saudi Arabia and the UAE, it's crucial to note how these ambitions are part of a broader geopolitical strategy. MENA countries are positioning themselves not only as competitors in the space race but as strategic partners for larger powers. This could foster a more multipolar world in space exploration, where smaller nations leverage their partnerships to gain technological advancement and economic benefits. The implications for global governance and economic interdependence in space activities could be profound, yet the complexities of regional politics might pose challenges to sustained cooperation. 3. China's International Lunar Research Station (ILRS). China's push for the ILRS is often viewed through the lens of competition with the US-led initiatives. However, the significance of the ILRS project extends beyond mere rivalry. It represents China's ambition to create a parallel framework for international cooperation in space. This move could potentially attract nations that feel sidelined by the US-led Artemis Accords, providing an alternative pathway for participation in space exploration. The establishment of the ILRS may lead to a bifurcation in international space collaboration, raising questions about the future of global cooperation in this domain. 4. The European response and the Italy-Africa Space Conference. The report outlines Europe's efforts to regain its influence in space through partnerships with MENA and African nations. Yet the significance of initiatives like the Italy-Africa Space Conference is often underestimated. This conference serves as a platform for Italy to position itself as a leader in fostering African space capabilities. which could help mitigate the influence of China and the US in the region. By focusing on collaborative projects that address local needs such as climate change and resource management, Italy and other European nations can create a robust space partnership that empowers African nations while ensuring their own strategic interests are met. 5. The role of Earth observation in climate change. The emphasis on Earth observation capabilities in the context of climate change is a critical aspect that often gets overlooked. The report notes how African nations are increasingly investing in satellite technology for Earth observation. The significance of this lies in the potential for these technologies to enhance disaster preparedness, agricultural productivity, and climate adaptation measures across the continent. As climate change continues to pose existential threats, the ability of nations to monitor and respond to environmental changes through space technologies will be vital for their resilience and development. 6. Impact of Global South partnerships with China. China's strategy to build partnerships with Global South nations, particularly in space, is often framed in terms of economic and technological imperialism. However, the significance of these partnerships should also be seen through the lens of mutual benefit and shared goals in development. For many countries, collaborating with China offers access to advanced technologies and infrastructure that would otherwise be unavailable. This could lead to a shift in the balance of power in space exploration. As nations that were previously dependent on Western technologies gain the means to develop their own capabilities. 7. The multifaceted space ecosystem and smaller nations. The report mentions the increasing accessibility of space technologies and the involvement of smaller nations and private enterprises. This trend is significant as it democratizes access to space, allowing a wider array of players to contribute to space exploration and development. The emergence of a multifaceted space ecosystem could lead to innovative solutions to space challenges, but it also raises questions about regulatory frameworks and the management of space debris, which could become more problematic with a greater number of stakeholders involved. Conclusion. The international landscape for global space missions is evolving rapidly, with strategic partnerships playing a pivotal role in shaping future dynamics. The overlooked elements discussed here, ranging from the implications of the Artemis Accords and the strategic positioning of MENA countries, to the growing role of Earth observation technologies and the democratization of space access, are crucial for understanding the complexities of international space collaboration. As we approach 2026, these factors will significantly influence how nations navigate their roles in the ever-expanding frontier of space exploration, with profound implications for global governance, technological development, and international relations. 1. Artemis Accords and international collaboration. The Artemis Accords stand at the forefront of international cooperation in space exploration, with 36 signatory nations committed to shared principles for cooperative missions. This initiative promotes a collaborative spirit essential for addressing the complexities of space exploration, exemplified by contributions from nations such as the UAE towards the Lunar Gateway. The Accords not only enhance partnerships but also serve as a policy framework guiding responsible exploration, reflecting a shift towards a more united global effort in space endeavors. 2. China's expanding influence. China's strategic initiatives, particularly through the International Lunar Research Station (ILRS) project and the Tiangong Space Station, signify its ambition to establish a strong foothold in the global space landscape. By cultivating partnerships with Global South nations, China aims to counter the influence of the US-led Artemis Accords. This geopolitical maneuvering underscores the competitive dynamics in space exploration as China seeks to enhance its technological capabilities and assert leadership in the international arena. 3. MENA's strategic role. The Middle East and North Africa MENA region is emerging as a critical player in the global space race, driven by significant investments from countries like Saudi Arabia and the UAE. These nations are not only enhancing their space capabilities but are also forming strategic alliances in response to the competition between the US and China. The region's focus on space technology is seen as pivotal for economic development and regional stability. showcasing how space exploration is intertwined with geopolitical and economic aspirations. For European resurgence, Europe is actively working to reclaim its influence in the global space domain through collaborative efforts with MENA nations and Africa. Initiatives such as the EU-Africa Space Partnership are designed to enhance technological cooperation and foster a competitive edge against other global powers. Europe's strategy focuses on avoiding competition that could favor external actors, emphasizing a united approach to enhance regional capabilities and support sustainable development through space technology. This resurgence reflects a broader commitment to strengthening Europe's position in the evolving international space landscape. 1. The Apollo-Soyuz Test Project 1972. This historic mission was the first international human spaceflight mission where American and Soviet spacecraft docked in orbit. It marked a significant collaboration during the Cold War, demonstrating that despite geopolitical tensions, nations could work together in the pursuit of scientific exploration. The mission symbolized a thaw in relations between the two superpowers and set the stage for future cooperation in space, including the Shuttle Mir program and ultimately the International Space Station ISS. 2. International Space Station 1998-present. The ISS represents one of the most ambitious international collaborations in human history, involving space agencies from the United States NASA, Russia Roscosmos, Europe ESA, Japan JAXA, and Canada CSA. It serves as a microgravity and space environment research laboratory where scientific research is conducted in astrobiology, astronomy, meteorology, and physics. The ISS has been a platform for diplomatic engagement and collaboration among nations, showcasing how strategic partnerships can lead to significant advancements in science and technology. 3. The European Space Agency ESA and the Galileo Project 2003-present. The Galileo program is Europe's ambitious global navigation satellite system, intended to provide an independent high-precision positioning service. ESA, founded in 1975, has collaborated with various nations and organizations to develop this project, demonstrating how strategic partnerships can enhance technological capabilities and reduce reliance on other systems like the US GPS. Galileo has been instrumental in fostering cooperation among European nations, and its completion is a testament to the power of collaborative efforts in achieving shared goals in space exploration and technology. Future outlook: strategic partnerships for global space missions by 2026. As we look towards 2026, the international landscape of space exploration will be significantly molded by strategic partnerships that redefine collaboration and competition among nations. The following are key predictions regarding the evolution of space missions driven by partnerships that transcend geopolitical boundaries. 1. Strengthening of the Artemis Accords. By 2026, the Artemis Accords are expected to expand further, potentially attracting over 50 signatories. This growth will enhance international collaboration in lunar exploration, establishing a community of nations committed to responsible practices in space. Partnerships may deepen, particularly with countries such as Japan, Canada, and various European nations aiming to contribute to the Lunar Gateway project. The Accords will also likely serve as a blueprint for future collaborative efforts beyond the Moon, including Mars missions, fostering a shared approach to exploration. 2. Rise of MENA space powers. The Middle East and North Africa MENA region will emerge as a central player in the global space race. Countries like Saudi Arabia and the UAE are poised to make substantial advancements in their space capabilities by 2026. With planned investments exceeding $2 billion, Saudi Arabia is expected to make significant strides in satellite technology and human spaceflight. The UAE's continued contributions to lunar missions, including the development of lunar infrastructure, will solidify its status as a space leader, inspiring other MENA nations to enhance their space ambitions and collaborations. 3. China's expanding lunar ambitions. China's leadership in space will be further solidified through its International Lunar Research Station (ILRS) initiative, expected to attract multiple Global South nations as partners. By 2026, China is likely to have established a network of collaborations that rival those of the Artemis Accords, particularly in satellite technology and lunar research. This will not only enhance China's geopolitical influence but also position it as a primary partner for countries looking to develop their space capabilities, fostering a new bloc that challenges Western-led initiatives. 4. European resurgence in space. Europe will strive to regain its foothold in the global space arena by enhancing partnerships with countries in Africa and the MENA region. Initiatives like the EU-Africa Space Partnership are likely to yield tangible results, focusing on technological cooperation and capacity building. By 2026, Europe may successfully launch collaborative projects aimed at climate monitoring and Earth observation, leveraging its technological expertise while avoiding direct competition with the US and China. 5. Emergence of African space programs. The African space landscape will continue to evolve, with numerous countries establishing or expanding their space programs. By 2026, over 30 African nations may possess operational space capabilities, contributing to a collective effort in satellite technology and Earth observation. Collaborations with both China and Western nations will facilitate knowledge transfer and enable African countries to address regional challenges such as climate change and disaster management through advanced space technologies. 6. Increased competition and collaboration in space. The competition between the US-led Artemis Accords and China's ILRS will shape the international space landscape. By 2026, nations will increasingly have to navigate this duality, choosing sides based on technological needs, geopolitical alignment, and economic motivations. This competition will fuel innovation and investment in space technologies globally. However, it may also lead to fragmentation, where countries that align with either bloc may face challenges in forging independent partnerships. Conclusion. The strategic partnerships forming in the global space mission landscape present a complex interplay of competition and collaboration. By 2026, the international space community is likely to witness heightened cooperation through frameworks like the Artemis Accords and the emergence of new coalitions led by countries such as China. The MENA region, along with African nations, will play crucial roles in shaping the future of space exploration, enhancing their technological capabilities while contributing to global efforts in addressing pressing challenges. The future of space exploration will be defined by these partnerships, setting the stage for a new era of international cooperation in the cosmos.